By the way, is everyone here?
I'm here.
Yeah, I think I'm here.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this podcast may find you. Looks like everyone is here today.
Justin is here.
Jordan's here.
And it is I, your host, Gavin, who is also here. And, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're getting through the week. My Monday was fucking terrible.
Tell us about it. Why don't you? Oh, you'll do it anyways. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I go into work as per usual. Before work, I actually got the Forester in the body shop. So now making headway into actually getting that thing sorted and dialed. And I made it explicitly clear to both the body shop and the service department at the dealership that the car will be trading hands between the body shop and the service department. So I will get this issue. Hopefully this issue that I've been chasing, or the service department has been chasing for over a year now, since May of last year. And this issue, it has been chalked up to a number of different things. Two things. The one that keeps on popping up is a steering angle sensor, which I kind of think it actually is, because when they put the steering angle sensor in last time, I actually did feel a difference in the steering. And I can say that because when the light came on, the steering went back to normal.
Or what you thought was normal.
What normal has been for the last fucking over year and what month is it? A year and 4 months. So and I told the dealership, like, hey man, if you guys can't keep the car as long as you want. Please drive it over the 125 mile service, like the reset time.
Yeah.
Give it to one of your techs. I don't
have
care.
him drive it home a couple days, something like that.
Put over 125 miles on. I want it to be good and dialed because this is my last straw. This guy Pedro, who's a great guy, I could see the sadness on his face, like when I was telling him the problem came back. He wants me to love this car, and part of me not loving this car is the fact that it hasn't actually really been proper for the last year and 4 months.
Sounds like a bad romance. It really does. Like
it's
the
a bad
whole
romance.
I want you to love this car, and then it's just car's not loving you back.
I know it really isn't. Like a lot of things.
I secretly don't want you to love this car because I want you to go German.
I'm about to. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to. Then speaking of, well, actually, I'm not going to talk about this other thing.
Okay.
The thing that I've talked to Jordan and Justin about.
Gavin is not going to talk about his thing.
You all the listeners and all the people that I know on Facebook and Instagram will see it if it actually happens. But until then, I will be driving a Nissan NV200 work van. But anyways, so that all got handled before work today, and then work was kind of as normal. We've been in this really busy phase, and then just out of nowhere got thrown on my plate that I will be delivering 3 different events by myself at St. Regis, Empire Canyon Lodge, and at Montage up in Deer Valley up in Park City.
Both gorgeous places.
So they're all amazing places. And it wouldn't be unusual for me to deliver one by myself. I've also delivered just one event with help of somebody else. So to have 3, just be like, okay, go. It's like, wait a minute. First of all, I don't know what these flowers are. Second of all, what?
You're right, yeah.
So that was kind of a shit show. And, then came back home about, 45 minutes later than I was hoping to. And then you people joined me.
Yes, we did.
So that was my craziness of a Monday.
Gotcha. I did a detail on a 2015 Challenger.
How's that?
It was a V6. But,
Okay.
I mean...
Does that change does that change the quality of the detail
How was
for you?
that? It was a V6.
Enough said.
Enough said, yeah.
No, the gentleman was awesome, but the interesting thing, and I have some pictures provided here to show you.
It's red.
It's like that orangey red. I
Oh,
can't,
so it's like Catalunya red.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really pretty color, though.
So here's
That could go on anything. It could look really good.
fucking gorgeous.
So it's like the same color as the TTRS.
That's what he was saying.
Yep.
Right?
That's
Very-
that's the
very,
Audi name for it is Catalunya red.
Right.
Just a tiny bit less orange and a tiny bit more red, but effectively very similar shade.
Okay.
So this is what it was. So like, car wasn't that dirty, but he went up to Oregon a couple weeks ago, came back with this. He doesn't know where it got it from, but these spots were all over the passenger
You're
side.
talking about the spots, not the black line that's going.
Okay,
across
I was
the
about
front.
to be like, what the
No,
hell?
no.
He didn't realize that he got a black stripe on his car?
Yeah, somebody drive-by vinyled him.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a semi.
So he doesn't know what happened because
Let me
it's
see that.
it's all over. It was all over the passenger side
It's
and
just
kind
hard watermarks, right?
No, it's not. No, it wasn't.
It look,
Are those bubbles?
That's what it looks like, though.
I
Oh,
know
it's on the paint, too,
Yeah,
though.
it looks like that, but they're
Is it tree sap?
see, that's the weird thing is that's what he thought, but I'm like, it doesn't go on the roof. It's only on the passenger side, and it only had like 3 small dots on the roof.
And where was he?
Oregon.
So what he's pretty sure it was some sort of truck slinging something at some point. They were like chemical marks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, and you said there
The
were bubbles, though.
THC is in the water because they legalized weed there.
And now it's
Oh.
Nardo Red.
That's what Nardo Red is. Yes.
We have found Nardo Red by way of this, but yeah, it was interesting. I ended up, he's like, I've tried everything. I've tried vinegar.
Jordan is so satisfied with himself.
I know he loves his Nardo Red joke. Oh,
Hey,
man.
you guys fucking laugh at it, too.
Oh no, I'm with you, man.
Or you're just laughing at me. Either one. I don't give
It's
a shit. You're still
definitely
laughing.
both, but I'm also with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was weird. He just contacted me through a friend and is like, I cannot figure it out. We've tried vinegar. We've tried Goo Gone. We've tried straight up like WD-40. We've gone hard, and they will not come off.
Literally going hard in the paint.
Yeah, and he did that.
Or hard on the paint.
Yeah.
Hard on the paint. That was the lesser known Flocka track.
Yeah, he doesn't need any more recognition.
No, he doesn't.
Flocka.
Luckily, he was smart and did that on a very discreet location when he tried it.
Yeah, no
but,
kidding.
Yeah, it literally, everything I tried, I had to straight up buff it out. It would not come out other than just straight cutting the paint.
Yeah.
Whatever it was the weirdest thing. It ended up gorgeous. I mean, the car's in fantastic
So you did eventually
condition.
get it out?
Yes.
After...
How many hours?
Sounds
it
like a
is?
total
This was-
nightmare.
Not really. I kind of had a feeling it was going to have to be polished out from the
okay.
beginning because I washed it. I'm like, oh, none of them came off. Clay barred it. Okay, none of them came off. Sometimes if you use wax, like a very pure carnauba wax, will eat it off. None of it.
Yeah.
Goof off. None of it. I was like, okay, fuck it. It's going to have to be polished out.
Yeah.
Those were done in just very quick tests of one area, so I wasn't like
Yeah.
wasting time with it. But it was
No, you
about
weren't doing the whole side. Oh, this did work.
No.
Doing the whole other side again. Still didn't work. Like,
No.
Yeah.
So it took, including setup and takedown, and then even just talking with the guy a little bit, it was about 5 hours total. Because no matter what, if you're ever going to touch tip, folks, if you are ever going to touch a car in any way, shape, or form with anything other than a wash mitt and sponge, you need to wash it first. End of story. I don't care how clean it looks, you wash it every time. Because it's those little things that are on the paint that don't look like much that are going to end up scratching the hell out of it.
absolutely.
Yeah, so washed it, did the wheels really quick, and then went through and started just trial and erroring, and it was about an hour and a half I spent on just polishing that one side.
Yeah.
Because the paint's still in such good condition, it would have been a waste of time and material for me to do a full polish.
Right.
It wouldn't have made any difference, and it didn't make any difference even just polishing the areas I did. They don't look any different. All I did was polish. I didn't straight cut.
Yeah.
So we didn't even go for removing like swirls and stuff. It was just getting that top layer crap, whatever it was, off.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird, but
Damn.
yes, that was fun. That was the majority of my day, and then made my way back up north and then back down here.
Cool.
So, Jordan, how was your Monday?
Oh, boy.
But Monday/weekend also counts if
Okay.
you had an eventful weekend.
Well, I had an eventful weekend. I was at a demolition derby in Blackfoot, Idaho.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was fun.
That works.
Yeah, my cousin does all that kind of stuff, and so I was pit crew.
Nice.
And Yeah, it was a good time. He didn't do as well as he wanted to, but he had a blast, and he got like 5th out of like 23 cars, so it's not terrible. But, well, and it's actually very impressive, to be honest, for the reason being that the particular car that he was driving has already been through like 5 derbies.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So
That's what we call a veteran.
yes,
It's a champion.
So the fact that that thing is even like, I mean, it's running because they build race engines too.
Yeah.
But that's not the issue. The issue is the rest of the car being able to withstand.
Oh my God, yeah.
What is the base of the car?
It was an old, oh shit, what was it? Some kind of like an, what year was it? I want to say like a 70s or 80s Chrysler wagon.
I mean, beefy, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah. Anyways, though, but for today, Monday, I went to work. Recently, I'll preface this for the listeners. For those who don't know me or whatnot, I'm an architect, and so that's my profession. And today I go into work. We've been battling with this particular project, and we had a deadline. We have a deadline.
What kind of architect are you?
Well, right now I work in an architecture firm, and that firm specializes in a lot of different projects. So right now, since I'm just graduated with my master's degree,
Right.
I kind of work on a bunch of different things. With that being said, I've actually been doing really well, so I've been moving up a lot faster than I expected, which is
That's great.
I'm not opposed to it by any means.
Yeah.
So I've been like working on a bunch of different projects, but they range everywhere from like residential to commercial.
Sure.
Like big commercial projects all the way down to like just like small residential projects.
Cool.
But right now I'm currently working on a high-end office building and the accompanying parking garage for it. And our office also has an interior design portion of the firm.
Right.
On Friday, they're like, they come up to us, by the way, all this stuff, pretty much like I'm not going to get into major details here, but like the main basis of it was like, all this stuff you did for the last week and a half, we're actually not going to show that, and we're going to show our drawings instead for that. And then we'll just put those in place of that. So we're like, okay, that would have been cool to know. Like, we didn't have a problem with it had you told us like a week and a half ago before we did all that work and spend all this time on all those billable hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Still gonna bill for that though.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're still getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But it's just like on our end, like we pretty much did everything for nothing, for no reason. Not
Right.
nothing, but for no reason.
Sure.
This particular portion and person of the firm is like, she promises the world but doesn't deliver a goddamn thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's great.
It's always a good person to have.
Yeah, so like our last deadline.
It's a dead end.
Yeah.
It's what she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, our last deadline, she was like, the day of the deadline, she's like, actually, I'm not going to have that done, so it's probably going to be about a couple weeks.
Dude.
And we're just like, and they're like, okay. And like, and that was like, my boss was like, okay. And then myself, I was like, and the other person that's working on the project are like, what the fuck? So we're held to this major standard.
Right,
But-
but they aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah. And then today we come into work, and tomorrow is our next deadline for the client. And we came in, and all of our ceilings were deleted.
Okay.
Like, which is not good, because if all of our ceilings are deleted in our model, then that deletes a lot of other things that are referenced to other drawings within
That totally
the
makes
project.
sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that created a whole nother shitstorm nightmare. And so we basically the last like 2 days have been playing like massive catch up because of someone else's total disaster.
Shit or shortcomings.
Yes.
Shitcomings.
Yeah.
Shitcomings. Yes. We have coined a new term.
Yeah. And it's just been a total nightmare. I mean, we've even had to like bring other people onto the project because they can't perform. And it's
Damn.
just like ridiculous. And this one particular person that she brought onto the project that is up in the architecture portion of the firm, that person was told to like do certain things for their model or whatever, but like totally went behind our backs and telling him to do stuff because there were certain things that she wanted changed, but like structurally
Yeah.
could not be done because of, one, we're already locked into certain things because of certain submissions we've done, but then on top of that, just structurally, if she's trying to move that, it wouldn't have worked.
Gotcha.
And she told the guy, I'll go ahead and move that. And so she went behind our backs, and we came in again this morning, and we're like,
The fuck happened?
what the fuck is that wall doing right there?
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't have caught it had they not screwed up on a couple parts. But
Oh, funny. So they didn't even like hide it well either.
no, they didn't. And
That's unfortunate for them.
and so we ended up moving it back. But God, it's just. So yeah, that was my Monday.
Drama in the architect firm.
Drama.
Yeah, we'll
Tune
see.
in next week for another update.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Well, sweet. That was not bad. That's all of our Monday joys out of the way. Fuck
Well,
Mondays.
we could talk about other shit. We could talk about actually. So I was on my way.
Talking about actually or Ashley?
Actually,
Oh, I thought you said Ashley. I'm like,
no,
who's Ashley?
no. So today, something I use to kind of calm down from a lot of the stress of my work is listen to podcasts. Typically, it's either been the Smoking Tire, like the things that I have a bunch of different podcasts, but the ones that kind of like make me kind of simmer down and just like compose myself has been the Smoking Tire or the Everyday Driver podcast.
Okay.
So this thing, I'm going to just surprise the both of you with this question is, what do you think about Porsche calling their Taycan, which is an all-electric vehicle, giving the top model the Turbo S moniker? This is something that was discussed in the Everyday Driver podcast in their most recent one today. And so I wanted to ask you guys this and get your thoughts.
I've seen a bit of automotive commentary on that. So, yeah. I'm kind of conflicted. I can understand why they would do it, mainly for cost reasons, because it's another thing they don't have to trademark. They keep their brand stability, we'll call it, where, like, you know, every line has a Turbo S model. That's the top model. So I can understand it from a business standpoint, as far as, you know, probably the financial model of it. But does it really make sense for the car?
So I'm kind of late to this whole
effectively,
thing because I haven't really been on much of the social medias lately to see what's been going on. So you're telling me this car is electric?
All electric.
You're right. And it's labeled a Turbo S?
Yes. So it's an all-electric car where they basically just decided to give the top model, like the rest of the range, a Turbo S.
It is a
moniker.
Tesla Model S competitor.
Yeah.
Right.
The original
Model S?
S.
Or the Roadster?
Model
S.
S. So
Okay.
it's a four-door.
It is a four-door sedan.
Okay, I've seen pictures of it, but...
So
okay.
if you remember
I mean,
seeing-
like, performance-wise, sorry.
If you saw photos of the Mission E concept,
Okay.
it's basically that car.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of the car, but I haven't read anything into it.
It makes, like around 750 horsepower?
Yep.
Or like more or less?
Which one?
The
new Porsche?
Taycan. Yeah.
Oh, like the equivalent to
Yeah. I don't know what the kilowatt per
Kilowatts.
hours is.
590 billion.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Whatever that, yeah. Justin is doing some brushing up here.
I'm pulling it up right now so we can quote things correctly, because I don't think any of us
Is
are
that how
like
it's pronounced?
quite-
Taycan?
Taycan.
Yeah. Taken.
It's spelled Taken but pronounced Taycan.
Right. I mean, they didn't want to infringe on any, movie franchises.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty
estimated
Liam Neeson would be
range.
pretty pissed about that.
The range is like 220, I think, or something, right? It's not quite
So-
Tesla ranges.
Official estimated driving range between 260 and 270 for the Turbo and 225 and 250 for the Turbo S. So obviously the more powerful one's going to have less range. Makes sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense for electric cars because the cars that have the bigger motors also have the way bigger batteries, or the batteries can provide more juice for the motors. That's how all of Teslas have been.
They may not have changed them for whatever reason.
What do you mean?
They may have the same batteries.
Same batteries, the bigger motor?
Yeah.
That might be. I don't know.
Porsche is weight saving, so if they can get away with just reducing some range but keeping the same batteries.
Yeah. What I'm curious to see, and I know Elon Musk, because he talks a lot of shit on Twitter. He's been making some claims that a Model S, top performance, whatever, would beat a Taycan around the Nürburgring, which is hysterical. The look that Jordan just gave says everything you need to know.
God damn it! This is. So, I got some thoughts on this.
Rent.
Would love to hear them.
So, Teslas, I've driven a few. They're pretty intense as far as like it's a lot, I guess not intense. It's a lot completely different than anything you've ever driven before.
Yes.
Because with being electric and being that powerful, you have 100% of the power right now versus like something with a typical gasoline or diesel engine. You got to wait for it to build up and like
also
get into your power band and all that other bullshit.
Teslas are also direct drive, which means they don't have gearboxes. So it's not like you have to work for power, downshift or upshift or whatever. There's none of that lag or delay. It is just all. I mean, the Model 3 I drove last year, which was actually going to be part of the show that for production reasons that I just didn't want to put it out. But that car accelerates just as hard from 40 to 60 as it does from 60 to 80. Yeah. And just as hard from 0 to 20. It is the same amount of shove that you feel in the seat. It's the fucking same. It's like real quick. It was the fastest one you could get in June or so, or July, early July of last year. And they've added the dual motors since then.
Yep.
And they have even faster ones now. And I'd love to have a go in one of those. But like what Jordan said, they are unlike anything else on the market.
But I'm going to continue my rant because my rant is not in favor of Tesla.
Wait, what? Really? I had no idea.
Man, I never would have guessed that. That's a curveball.
Yeah, I know. So weird. But the way I look at it is, okay, you have Tesla, who's a tech company making a car, versus now you have Porsche and you have Audi making their e-tron, and you have the Taycan making
the Taycan.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Porsche
But Mercedes is going to be
Audi
coming out with
making the
things.
e-tron, and then
BMW has electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with all of the i-Series from BMW and all these as well.
Yeah.
I would way rather buy into one of those cars for the reason being that it's a car company making an electric vehicle versus a tech company making a car.
Right, because Tesla could easily make washing machines, refrigerators, and televisions.
Yeah, because also too, all of Tesla's stuff is open source.
Yeah, that's also true.
So all these other companies can take that and perfect it and make it better, and which is exactly what Tesla wants, which is fine.
Elon created Tesla, he didn't want to just make the best electric car. That really wasn't his mindset.
No.
It was to create, or it was to change the world.
To make a platform for others to
Well, he just wanted to change the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I totally understand.
He has done. Because had Tesla not come out with the the Model S back in 2012, we wouldn't have e-tron, we wouldn't have the Taycan, we wouldn't have all these other i-Series cars and like electric cars pushing the way forward.
Yeah, because all the other companies now are like, oh shit, we need to get on this bandwagon.
Absolutely.
Which is totally fine. But my point to this is like, okay, I would way rather have a car company buy an electric car from a car company that's made cars versus
for the last 100 years,
because then you get all the amenities of the car versus like you sit in a Tesla, you look in that thing, you have like 2 seats and a big ass monitor and a steering wheel.
There are 2 buttons. One of them is for the hazards and the other one is for the glove box. That is it.
Yep.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is like, I would way rather buy into like a company that has like, you still get like the car feeling.
Yeah.
But like, to me, I feel like I'm literally driving something straight out of Tron.
So out of all of us that are sitting at this table right now,
and given time, those other companies like
Porsche.
Porsche.
and Audi and BMW, I feel like are probably going to shit on Tesla.
I agree.
Yep.
It depends on where a lot of those cars, where the price is at with them.
Yep.
And it also depends on the price that you pay compared to the amount of not just amenities, but the actual automated features that you get, such as autopilot, lane keep assist, radar cruise.
Yeah.
How much autopilot you get. Because for people that just want to drive, that do not give a fuck about like driving and engagement and feeling like a car, if they just want to go places, they'll probably keep on buying Teslas.
That's what actually I was just going to say, is because the one thing that Tesla seemingly hasn't wanted to, but also hasn't really compounded on, is all of those brands that you just mentioned have some pedigree and are somewhat performance brands in cases.
Well, they're performance / luxury brands, and Tesla has been building a pedigree over the last few years of being very expensive. Luxurious is a very actually subjective term.
Yeah.
People do see them as luxury cars, possibly because a lot of them have been sold for well over $100,000.
Yes.
I think they're sold for, well, that's kind of a hard subject too, is because like,
they've all been expensive vehicles with the exception of the 3.
Like one, initially they were expensive because it was like not proprietary.
It was a new car.
Like,
very early tech.
Yeah, exactly. It was new tech that just came out in this like type of market.
Yeah.
And then, but now they've been out for a while and they've like perfected it and stuff. But now it's kind of like the fad to like own an electric Tesla, and so for that they're able to keep the prices high. Where now, they're actually probably.
And you even say that perfected. Down. I don't think they've even nearly perfected the level of automation that they've been at now. And they've been delaying the next big step in automated driving.
Yeah.
If you look at just where they are and like the level that they're at, and they keep on pitching. There was one stage that they're on stage 3.
Yep.
Right now. And instead of jumping to stage 4, they this last like press conference that they had stage 3 plus, which was they just made up this whole new fucking imaginary level of automated driving, which was in between. So they basically just set the bar way lower.
Yep.
But the public eye doesn't give a shit about that. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a Tesla, it'll be great.
Yeah, they're kind of halo cars for normal people.
But they're not bad cars, though. I don't want to give off the impression that they're bad cars.
Oh, yeah,
they are, generally speaking, they have had, there's been many people that have documented their production flaws, quote unquote, between paint and panel gaps and all that crap. But
mostly panel gaps.
But
again,
generally
which is
speaking,
where Porsche and Audi would never fall short.
Exactly.
On.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, a tech company making a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that aside, the general functionality of the cars has been very well.
Oh yeah.
They just work and they do their thing and they're pretty great. I did want to touch on something that you just mentioned a minute ago. While you were ranting about the price, here's one thing to consider. A Model S starts at $79,990. The Taycan starts at $152.
Yeah.
So
it's also a different level
of
of performance and fit and finish and quality, because guess what? It's a Porsche.
It's a Porsche still.
Yeah.
And also, they're only offering Turbo and Turbo S for now.
Yeah.
And knowing how Porsche is going to go, they're going to introduce a base, and they're going to introduce an S, and probably going to introduce a GTS.
Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to see where that pans out, because I honestly think they'll honestly create their own market, because I think the Tesla people will still just go with Teslas.
Well, and we haven't heard
part.
anything about the automated driving from the Taycan.
Nope. And
I haven't heard about the automated driving from any other company, actually, now that I think about
Cadillac does it.
Yep.
Cadillac has
Hyperdrive? No.
it. Well, not that I haven't heard of it, but you just don't hear as much
Hyperdrive's a TV
about
show.
it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like the top subject of
It's not a
discussion
buzzword.
for these other companies.
Cadillac does have and GM have their own thing.
Right.
Is it also in the last generation Volt?
And also the Audi e-trons, they start, it looks like here they're starting at 74.8.
Super Cruise is what
Super
Cadillac.
Cruise.
That's what it's called.
Yes, that's
because
why we
Cadillac
thought
is
Chevy.
American Cruise and everybody loves Super.
Super.
We're going back to the 1950s, ladies and gentlemen.
Supersize me.
Oh, geez.
Also, first of all, yes. Second of all, what I do believe is quite humorous and interesting is people have been giving Porsche shit for calling something a turbo that doesn't have a turbo. Tesla has a thing called a supercharger. Guess what? It has nothing to do with pulleys or with forced induction.
It just charges the battery.
Supercharges it. See, but that makes a little bit more sense.
A little bit.
Because it's also not a moniker on the car. It's a separate thing that charges the vehicle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whereas like turbo, like, are they going to turbo?
They're going to put an electric turbo on the electric engine.
Turbo. What?
Yeah,
this car.
Your mom.
Like,
no, what I was...
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that kind of goes back to the beginning. I can understand the business standpoint of that because they don't have to create another trademark for another word. It probably saves them money. And it keeps brand integrity with the rest of their lineup.
Well, yeah, because they have a line of denomination happening.
Yeah.
They have a base. They have an S. They have a GTS, a turbo S. I mean, when Porsche added turbos to all their cars except the GT3s, when they turboed the 911s and the Caymans and like all that stuff, people mentioned some of that, but they didn't really care as much about calling something a turbo when everything else is turbos.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little convoluted, especially coming from the Porsche fanboy in the room.
Yeah, and I'd agree. Although I can understand it from the business side, I don't like it from just the general. It doesn't have a internal combustion engine side.
Yeah,
and
I'm almost there with you. I'm mostly there with you.
So
in that,
I am definitely there with you. That kind of goes back to the whole like putting Porsche wheels on an Audi thing.
Yeah, which was a lovely little rant a couple weeks ago.
It was. Well, if you have thoughts on the matter, you can hit us up at mailbag.eos@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on our Instagram, Exhibition of Speed. We are Exhibition of Speed on Facebook. Or if you happen to know us personally and are listening, hi there. Hit us up. Let us know what you think, and we will get your thoughts on air. Is there anything else that we have to really offer for this episode? We're kind of just ranting here.
I think that was a really good, solid rant.
Okay, cool. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.
Wednesday it is. Bye.